Thanks for listening to Gossip with Celebrity, brought to you by Celebrity.com. This week we talk about the inauguration and Ben Affleck and Ana de Armas. We end with our weekly feature, The Comments of the Week. The stories, photos, and tweets we talk about can be found at Celebrity.com/podcast under episode 80.
Hi, I'm Katie, the founder and editor of Celebrity.com, and I write as Celebrity.
And I'm Chandra, I'm the head writer for Celebrity, and I write as Kaiser.
So we're going to be off next week because we're doing that new schedule, which is 3 weeks on, 1 week off. And then we'll be back on February 7th.
Okay.
So I'm not doing a lot this year. I decided that my goal was going to be to stretch more because I'm kind of inflexible. And I've been trying to do more like yoga and Pilates type classes where they stretch. And I watch the instructor and they can go all the way down and I can go like a third of the way down and it hurts. And I'm like, oh my God. I have like the blocks so that I don't have to go all the way down the floor. But, it's something I should be doing. So I'm trying to do that more.
Yeah. If I was going to the gym regularly, I would stretch more. As it is, I just get out of my car and I start walking on the track.
Okay.
Without stretching out. But when I used to, walk regularly on the treadmill, I would stretch before I got on the treadmill.
I think it doesn't matter whether you stretch before or after. They say you should be a little warm, but I've had instructors do both. But if I'm just working out myself, like I do those Peloton classes, I'll just do the 1 minute stretch at the end, which is nothing. And that's all I'll do all day unless I take a class. And if I take a full on stretching, those weird classes I'm taking, then I'll get it. I don't want to spend extra time doing that. It feels like a waste to me. I love doing
cardio. It feels good. It feels good to me, especially to really stretch out my legs. I still I'm in fucking puberty still. I still get Charlie horses and stuff when I'm sleeping. I'm constantly having to get out of bed and stretch my legs.
You might need more magnesium or something. But yeah, I get those too where I'll have a bad cramp in my leg or calf or something. And yeah, I'm trying to work on this. We'll see how long it lasts. It feels good when I do it, but I'm not motivated to do it. I'd rather just do some hard cardio because that feels more immediately satisfying, if that makes sense.
Yeah. You were saying that was your goal for the year. I didn't set any New Year's resolutions. I rarely set resolutions, but I was just when January 1st rolled around, I'm we're just going to get through inauguration. That's my goal is to get through the inauguration, and then maybe I'll figure out some things. And then this week, I really started to feel my body of what the past 4 years has done to my body, especially the past year in lockdown. And I've gained weight. I'm not as toned. And I am going to start lifting again.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, just real basic bitch weight training. I'm not power lifting or anything like that. And I'm just going to stick with walking outside because I love that. And I love the fresh air. And it's still nice out. It's still nice weather to walk in. So
it's too cold for me. You're brave, man. I only like walking when it's nice and warm. I don't feel the cold weather, but you like it. And that's nice that you found your thing,
Yeah, I love walking when it's cold. I prefer.
No, not me. I'm under 40, forget it. Actually, it's more under 55, 60. But I haven't walked in weeks. I keep working out, I'm doing my thing. I went up a size also, and it's who gives a shit, really, at this point? I've been wearing leggings every day,
Oh, yeah. I think that's why I didn't realize that I was gaining weight over the past year because I've just been living in sweatpants. And I was yeah, it's fine. My body hasn't really changed that much. And then just in the past week, I'm holy shit, my body's changed a lot because I never weigh myself.
I'm wearing jeans now, but they're the only jeans that fit me. Well, I have my big jeans, my period jeans fit me, and there's maybe 3 pairs. So I'm we'll see what happens. I'm not going to be too hard on myself.
I put on my favorite jeans the other day, and they fit, but they have a little stretch to them. So that's why they're my favorite jeans. So
same with these, yeah. The stretchy ones. Because I'm going out later, so I'm I'm going to wear jeans. So we had the inauguration yesterday. It was a relief, but I don't know how to feel now. it was crazy.
Yeah, it was more than 4 years of like just trauma and heartache and fascism and just racism and assholery and just everything was awful. Everything
You
was
have
just
such a way
awful
with
constantly. Yeah, and so now we're still processing trauma. Like we're still trying to figure out how to feel. And I think it's fine to still feel like a little bit off kilter. And it's going to take a while. Like I realized that as we were watching the new press secretary, I was like, holy shit, this feels so different. And it's only been 4 years.
I saw her last night. What's her name? Jen Psaki?
Psaki, yeah, I think.
Jen Psaki. She was amazing. I was like, oh my God, they're going to do all this stuff for us all day with this amazing inauguration. And then we're going to get a new press secretary. How much better can it get? You know?
Yeah.
She just is so nice. She was naming people and saying, okay, I'll follow up with you. I'm not really sure about that, but I'll circle back. I was like, what? She's remembering that person and just going to talk to him again?
I kept getting flashbacks of Sean Spicer. He quit really soon, like really quickly into the Trump administration. Like he wasn't even there that long. And I was still getting flashbacks of him screaming at journalists.
That's the dude that Melissa McCarthy played, right?
Yeah.
And then he hid in the bush or something. I remember him because he was on Dancing with the Stars. And he seemed kind of harmless compared to a lot of the Trump people because he wasn't in there for very long.
Oh, he wasn't harmless. He was also that same douche who like talked shit about Anne Frank.
Oh my God. No, I didn't say he was harmless. I said he seems that way compared to the other ones. But he was a Nazi too, I'm sure. He's friendly Nazi.
No such thing.
I like how you covered that story about the press secretary because you said it's going to take us a while to process everything and to get used to the things being back to normal.
Yeah, and for journalists too. The journalists in the room were like, holy shit, is this really happening? We're not being screamed at? You know. But yeah, everything about Inauguration Day was amazing. Let's talk about our favorite part.
So the performers at the inauguration were Lady Gaga, Jennifer Lopez, and Garth Brooks. And then Gaga did the national anthem, and J.Lo sang "This Land Is Your Land" and "America the Beautiful." And Jennifer Lopez wore like a white head-to-toe Chanel suit that was kind of sparkly with a big ruffly top. I thought her outfit was more appropriate than Lady Gaga's, but a lot of people disagreed with me, and I understand that. I thought Lady Gaga's was a little... She was in Schiaparelli. I thought she was kind of over the top for the event. Like, she should have toned it down.
I disagree. Like, okay. I think Gaga was fine. I saw a lot of people making Hunger Games references, and I don't get those references because I haven't read or watched any Hunger Games.
The giant bird on her, the bird brooch that she was wearing, the gold. She looked like she was designed by Cinna in that dress. Like, it was outrageous. Sorry, go ahead.
I think that's fine. I think if you're going to ask Gaga to come and sing the national anthem, you expect her to show up like that. I actually appreciated the fact that she really went all out, that she planned ahead, that she got a custom outfit, and like that the dove, it had some sort of meaning to her. And like, I enjoyed her performance. This is the most I've ever liked Gaga.
I can't believe how generous you are to her, which I appreciated. I'm like, wow, Chandra is like really turning around on Gaga. And I'm like, that gets on my nerves. She's trying to upstage everybody. And that was sweet how you covered it.
Yeah, I liked it. I mean, it's Gaga. What do you expect? Like, of course she's going to go big. I like the symmetry of it, that she was campaigning with Biden in Pennsylvania, that she did that asinine camo wearing thing, and she was like trying to appeal to Pennsylvania hunters and try to like redneck it up, and then like she shows up at the inauguration in a fucking ball gown. I love that.
Okay, so yeah, that is who she is. You know, and she's being true to herself. She's always way over the top with her costuming, and she's type A and how she shows up for stuff. And she's a good Democrat, too. I appreciate how she campaigns for Democrats. You know, her family, her dad's MAGA, and she still shows up.
Yeah, and that's another aspect, and it's really good of her. She was very supportive of Hillary Clinton, too. I remember that. And Barack Obama, I'm sure.
That makes a difference. Yeah.
My thing with both Jennifer Lopez and Gaga was that they weren't wearing technically American designers. Schiaparelli is not it's not an American design house, even though the creative director is currently an American. So I think that's how Gaga got away with that. The reason Jennifer Lopez and Chanel pissed me off is because it's Chanel and it's a French house. And I feel like she should have worn an American designer. The whole thing of like people introducing this 80-year-old stale tea about how Coco Chanel was a Nazi. Jesus fucking Christ.
I didn't even hear that.
They were doing that in the comments, and they were doing it to me on Twitter, like, how dare you like her outfit because she's wearing Chanel, and Coco Chanel was a Nazi. Yeah, everyone knows that. It's in the fucking Wikipedia page. Coco Chanel was banging Nazi. Yeah, like, wait till you find out what happened with Hugo Boss. And, like,
You sound like one of those clickbaity articles. Wait till you find out what happened with Hugo Boss.
Yeah. Wait till you find out what John Galliano said.
I mean,
you know,
it's not like she's wearing Dolce and Gabbana.
Right.
And she could have. It's J.Lo. Who cares? It's annoying when people do that.
Like, 80 years ago, the founder of this design house did this, and that's why I hate Jennifer Lopez. Don't do that. Please don't do that.
People are something else. Our job is a little bit different that way, because why didn't you remember this thing that this person said 15 years ago? Okay, we know. We're not going to mention it in every story about them, because I'm sure you will. So we talked about this in Zoom, and this is Courtney, Michelle, and Ameerah.
And like, it was one of those dresses, like an intense mermaid dress, where like the flow of her skirt goes out like halfway down her butt. So I saw like a little bit of her butt, and then the skirt went out. And I'm like, that is weird. Why is the skirt not at her waist?
I thought she was great. I loved her rendition.
To me, it's Gaga. Like, she's gonna Gaga. Gaga's gonna Gaga. They kind of knew what they were getting when they.
She wasn't gonna come in a white pantsuit.
Exactly. Yeah. And she's so extra, and she was it a J.Lo going, let's get loud at the end of that damn song? I wanted to push her off the damn stage. I was like, are you serious? Let's get loud?
What?
At the inauguration of a president?
I was totally fine with her adding stuff in Spanish. I was like, oh, I caught like half of that. But then when she did the let's get loud, I was like, no.
I was like, I'm done.
So yeah, everybody agreed with you that it's just Gaga, and she did a great job. She nailed the national anthem.
Yeah, it was what it was. Like, the actual singing part, I mean, she's not the best singer ever to sing the anthem. Rest in peace, Whitney Houston. But I thought she did a good job. And I especially liked that she made herself cry by looking at the flag. I thought that was a nice touch. It was like Gaga the actress.
Gaga. Remember her at the Oscars? Oh my God.
That was amazing when she was making herself emotional and she was posing like a swan and like holding up her Oscar and then weeping on command. That was great.
She's something else. Oh, I didn't like when Jennifer Lopez sang Let's Get Loud. I was like, why are you working that in there? You don't do that with patriotic songs. Come on. But
it was J.Lo.
Yeah, J.Lo's gonna J.Lo.
President Biden looked very happy with both those ladies.
He's such a sweet dude. He's not gonna tell them what to do. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
He thinks that he's buddies with both of them, and Gaga and J.Lo probably both think that they're best friends with Biden too. It's nice.
It is nice. So we finally got to talk about fashion again too, and that's another thing that it's been so long and it feels too nice. It's like, when is the other shoe gonna drop? I didn't mean that as a pun, but it kind of is. Joy Reid on MSNBC was so cute because she loved talking about it, and she got super excited, and I could relate to that a lot.
Yeah, well, because I was barely covering fashion during the Trump era. Every now and then, Melania would wear something so notable, I felt like I had to talk about it.
Like especially when she cosplayed, like colonial, like she cosplayed a bunch of shit that was just evil.
Oh, yeah,
too.
During her tour in Africa. And she...
Oh, my God.
Yeah, she was like Melania on safari.
She's an evil bitch.
And yeah, like, so we did talk about Melania's fashion. Ivanka's not so much, because I never liked what Ivanka wore, and I hate her. I hate Ivanka and Melania,
I hate her
too.
so much, too.
And like, I always, whenever I did talk about anything superficial when it came to the Trump era, I always felt like shit. I've always felt like shit about it, about writing those kind of stories. And now it's like, oh shit, we get to talk about Dr. Jill and Kamala and what they're wearing and how they're styled. And it's so much fun to go back to that.
It is wonderful. And they're dressing so joyfully too. They just look gorgeous. And you can tell that they like fashion. They're doing it to look nice. They're not doing it to stick it to anybody, if that makes sense. Because that's kind of how it seemed like Melania
it's not revenge
Ivanka
fashion at all.
Yeah. Although when you think about Michelle Obama, she just looked like a boss. Everyone was like, oh, when she walked in, she was wearing Sergio Hudson. And you wrote that he's a black designer from South Carolina. She had this gorgeous bouncy hair that just looked amazing. She just owned the room.
I love that she was wearing pants too. Yeah. I loved that she wore pants and that huge fucking belt. I mean, that was just so badass. She really did look like a superhero. And the long coat looked like a cape.
Yeah, it did. And then Jill Biden was wearing a blue tweed coat and dress that was custom designed for her by Alexandra O'Neill for Markarian. And that was kind of sparkly and pretty.
And that's a sustainable fashion label.
Oh, I didn't know
Markarian.
I liked it had like a contrasting collar. I don't know if that was like velvety, but it just looked really pretty. And people were also talking about Kamala's stepdaughter, Ella Emhoff. She wore this like kind of retro tweed Miu Miu jacket with sequins on the shoulders. And it really stood out on camera. I looked at her Instagram today and she's into like knitting and crocheting and she's super nerdy.
Yeah. She's still a student at Parsons. And I think before Kamala Harris started running for president, Ella was selling her own knitwear, like online.
Oh, yeah.
But she had to stop because, like, the requests were getting weird or something like that. But maybe she'll go back to that. But she, like, lives in Brooklyn, and she's this cool little hipster girl.
Yeah, she was cute. And then VP Harris was in Christopher John Rogers, and she was in this beautiful kind of purple coat. And everybody was matchy, too, in a way. They're all in purples and blues.
Even Hillary, did you notice that? Hillary was not the one coordinating with the girls, but she looked fine. Like
she had like a black jacket on, but she had a purple top peeking through.
Yeah, purple ruffled. It wasn't super flattering, but it's Hillary. You don't expect her to dress well.
So we talked about this on Zoom, and this is Sara, Zakiya, Ameerah, and Alnaaze.
Everyone was in the same colour family, so like Hillary, Michelle, Kamala, even Laura Bush's was kind of in that purpley blue, Jill. And I just wanted there to be like a WhatsApp group. And obviously Mother Pence wasn't involved in her funeral black and her flat hair.
She did not get the text message.
She doesn't have any friends.
Somebody pointed this out in the comments too, how Jill Biden had indoor and outdoor shoes, both which matched the outfit. She had the nude pumps for outside, or was it the colored ones for outside and the nude ones for inside?
That is such a church lady move. We have your outside shoes and then your shoes when you stay long afterwards.
So I didn't notice that Dr. Biden changed her shoes.
No, I didn't notice that either. Yeah.
That is so cute that she did that. And then the star of the inauguration was Amanda Gorman. She's a 22-year-old poet, and she was the first National Youth Poet Laureate in 2017. And her poem, I can't believe how moving and powerful it was and how absolutely well and perfect she delivered it. I kept rewinding it to catch it because it was so layered and just blew me away, and I was crying. It was hard not to cry a lot of times yesterday. But
the optimism of it was really striking, and to think that she wrote it right after the Capitol siege. You know, she wrote it right after a terrorist attack. To have that optimism that, you know, we were still not broken. Yeah. Obviously, I'm still emotional about it.
Aw, I didn't notice. That's it was incredible, and I can't believe she's 22 years old. She was wearing this yellow Prada coat, and she had on this bright red headband.
Hairpiece, yeah.
Yeah. And then she had a ring in honor of Maya Angelou. And Oprah gave her earrings. Like, I was...
Yeah, Oprah gave her the ring, too, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, okay. Some people are really good at writing crazy, meaningful poetry. And it just feels like such a unique skill, if that makes sense. It's hard to explain. Yeah. It just seems like those kind of people are so rare that could do that.
What I really appreciated also is that she used very simple language. It wasn't like,
fancy ass words. She wasn't using $5 words.
Yeah, it was just very simple and very simple conceptually. I was just sitting there reading the lines as prose. The way she constructed her thoughts.
Yes.
Yeah, it was very simple, and yet there was such elegance to it.
Yeah, that's a real skill, to be sparse yet so powerful like that and come up with the creativity to arrange her thoughts and words that way. Yeah.
But I loved her.
She was amazing. So the other news this week, which nobody cares about as much, but it was kind of fun, is that Ben Affleck and Ana de Armas broke up. And it was fun to watch how these stories came out, because we heard on Monday that she broke up with him, like it was her idea. And then on Tuesday, it suddenly became mutual, and it's been happening for a while, and Ben is fine. And I was like, oh, here he is again trying to control the narrative. Because that's what he always does with every breakup. His blankets the press with slightly different worded source quotes. It was ridiculous.
My theory, I told you this, my theory is that I think they were growing apart for a few months, and you said he's probably treating her like shit. I agree.
Yeah.
I think he just starts doing that. Like, he just starts treating women like garbage in hopes that they'll break up with him.
Exactly.
I think he's just one of those guys.
Oh, yeah.
And I also think that the reason like Anna was kind of moving away from him already was that she probably had a better look of like his addiction, and she was like, no, maybe not.
There's that. I mean, they said that she wanted kids and he didn't want kids, or was not committal. I think she also wants, more of an in Hollywood and all those type of things. And it ran its course for her.
Yeah.
Like, she was ready to move on.
It'll be interesting to see the next person that she dates.
Yeah. And they have to promote their movie, Deepwater. It's supposed to come out in August. And Ben just did that whole podcast interview. I listened to the entire thing over the weekend. It was over an hour. He barely sounds grateful for his career. He really likes making movies and acting, but he bitched so much about the tabloids' treatment of him and getting hounded by the paparazzi. And it was all about the same shit we've heard from him for years, about him being a victim of the tabloids.
Yeah, he and Jennifer Garner were in the tabloids a lot, but they did that shit to themselves. They were leaking shit about themselves. They were pap strolling. But like, when was the last time that like he was really like, quote unquote, the victim of the tabloids? It was the J.Lo era.
That's what he said too. He was focusing on J.Lo.
That was 15 years ago. That was 16 years ago.
That's still a major part of his personal narrative. That he could sell tabloids but not movie tickets. Oh, he said that so many times. Sorry, go ahead.
But like, the whole thing about that whole incident was it was once again him treating a woman like garbage very publicly.
Yeah.
That was like the start of all of this. So of course people were paying attention because Jennifer Lopez was being treated like garbage by him.
He was
going to
marry
strip clubs. And,
yeah. That part never gets it into his interviews about it. He's ridiculous.
I know. I love that, vintage gossip.
Oh yeah. That was, but he's still going through the same patterns. He's still doing the same thing with this new one. So we talked about this on Zoom, and this is Courtney, Sara, Karen, and Alnaaze.
I really enjoy all of the site's coverage right now about how but he doesn't want us to talk about it, but he still really wants our respect. But these aren't pap strolls, but they actually are.
Yeah, here's this massive cardboard cutout that I still have that I need to bring out. No, you're not good at this.
I hate being a celebrity, guys. It's really hard.
You're making me do this.
I don't want to be famous. I just want to make art. Bitch, please.
Leo, okay? He is a Leo male.
Yeah.
He loves the limelight and the attention. He's not fooling anybody.
I know people do different things with their hair when they break up. Ben Affleck is not worth getting that fringe or bangs Save that for someone better. It's not good.
So Sara was like, nobody should cut their hair for Ben Affleck. Like, he doesn't deserve that. I thought her pageboy was cute. I don't know.
I didn't pay that much attention to it. I mean, she's a beautiful woman. She can pull off anything.
That's what I thought.
It's not like Princess Charlene's stupid faux hawk, whatever thing.
No, she doesn't have baby bangs. You know, she has a reasonable pageboy with fringe. So let's move on to the comments of the week. So my comments of the week are from that post about Ben Affleck saying that he hates being famous. Wiglet Watcher said, Michael Shannon and so many other actors have the admiration of their peers without living a high-profile lifestyle. You can live without your girlfriend putting a cardboard cutout on your lawn or setting up pap walks. You can still act without those things that draw attention to your personal life. I kind of wish I wrote that, but it's true. Like, I kind of take those things for granted about Affleck. And then my other comment of the week is from Janey, and she said, I thought I could hear a teeny tiny violin, but no, it was the dog farting.
And I don't even think Anna was the one setting up half those pap strolls.
No, but she was really good at staring at him and acting like he was the most hilarious guy in the world. And
oh yeah, like she was good at playing up the, the sun rises and sets in his pants. He's gross to me.
Oh, he is really gross, and he smokes too.
All right, so my comment of the week is from the story about Tiffany Trump getting engaged to a quote-unquote Nigerian millionaire. And the story was just bizarre. Yeah. Completely. And he proposed in the White House on her dad's last day or something. Anyway, so Ariel wrote, guys, did her dad sell her?
I wouldn't put it past him. Was he even at her party? Remember when she was partying in Miami? Like, we didn't hear back then that she had a boyfriend.
He's been off and on her Instagram for a while.
Okay.
But it definitely felt like it heated up in recent months. But apparently they have been dating for about 2 years. And they specifically did not meet at Lindsay Lohan's Mykonos club.
They wanted to make sure everyone knew that. Because we know what shady things, I'm sure, Lindsay sets people up with her old clients.
Anyway.
Yeah. We should be happy, right? We should be really happy. And I'm like, something's going to go wrong. What's going to go wrong? I can't feel happy. Like, I feel almost happy. But I just feel like it's too soon to feel relieved.
I definitely feel like, oh, God, something terrible is going to happen. We're having too much fun. But there's still bad shit happening. Like, Republicans are still being fucking assholes. And I'm going to write this story about how the people in the Biden administration walked in on day one and they realized that Trump's Warp Speed had done nothing as far as vaccine preparedness. They hadn't prepared anything. So, I mean, it's going to be months longer until the vaccines come out for people like us.
That's very scary. And there's this theory, we were talking about this in Zoom, like that they might have just sold the surplus. Like they said they had a surplus. Either they lied or they siphoned it off and sold it. Because they sold and siphoned off the PPE. That's their MO.
I don't think that they sold off the supply. I think that they just lied about it. I think they just exaggerated how much they had. Because they're like, fuck it, who's going to know? Yeah, sure, we have 30 million vaccines.
Well,
sure.
I mean, at least there's 2 new ones coming. And Biden's going to bring the Wartime Act and make sure that the manufacturing and distribution is increased a lot. So, but yeah, the Trump administration, they killed so many people. They're horrible.
Yep.
All right, now I feel better that we got negative again. You're like, it's not all good. Cheer up. It's not all bad. I don't know. All right, thanks for listening, bitches.
Thanks for listening, bitches.
Thank you for listening to the Celebrity Podcast. Please rate, review, and subscribe wherever you listen. If you like us, please turn off your ad blocker when you visit our site. You can text us or leave a voicemail at 434-218-3219. Our music is from AA Alto, Maiden, and via Premium Beat and Sound of Picture. Thanks again.